Hello everyone, welcome to Apti Plus Academy for Civil Services. This is a video on daily news and editorial analysis, which I'll be covering from the Hindu and Indian Express. So the most important news and editorial would be discussed in this session. So let's get started with the topic first. Today is 4th of September. The first topic is biological e-jab get nods for the trial among the children. Second, edible oil price likely to be eased on by the December. Government is taking some actions to curb down the prices. Third, footprints of dinosaurs found in the Thar desert of Rajasthan. Second last, FSDC meeting on IBC stressed assets and financial inclusion. And the last is the editorial from Indian Express, why a caste census is needed, right? Apart from all the discussion, there would be some MCQ based questions. These questions would be based on current affairs that will help in the upcoming prelims examination. Those of you who are new to our channel, do not forget to subscribe Apti Plus Academy for Civil Services on YouTube. If you like this video, do not forget to give a thumbs up. So the first news of the day, that is biological e-jab gets nod for trial among the children. This is something which is important for your general studies paper 2, issues related to development and management of health. So Hyderabad-based जो company है, so this is a pharmaceutical company named as Biological E Limited. They have been approved by the Drug Controller General of India (DCGI) to conduct the trial of its vaccine, जिसके नाम है Corbevax, right? Corbevax. So this is a vaccine that would be given to the children and adolescents. Now they would be conducting the further trial. After the final trial result is there, they can finally come up in the market. कुछ और ऐसे वैक्सीन हैं जो इंडिया में ऑपरेटेड हैं. सो लिस्ट ऑफ वैक्सीन फॉर चिल्ड्रन दैट इज ऑन गोइंग की प्रोग्रेस, या फिर बहुत सारे ऐसे वैक्सीन हैं इंडिया में जो कि ऑलरेडी ट्रायल के फेज में है. सो फर्स्ट इज ज़ाइकोव डी, दिस इज बाय जाइडस कैडिला, एंड वी हैव कोवैक्सीन बाय बायोटेक, ये भी बच्चों के लिए ट्रायल कर रही हैं विद द सेम नेम. एंड द अदर इज द न्यूअर वन इज कोर्बेवैक्स बाय द बायोलॉजिकल ई लिमिटेड. So this has become the third vaccines that would be available for the children. We have already these two. और जाइडस कैडिला की बात करें जिन्होंने ज़ाइकोव डी बनाया, they already have an authorizations for emergency use in the child over 12 years, right? तो अभी recently इसको अप्रूवल मिली है गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया की तरफ से, and they would be finally administering. कुछ proposals और waiting है. Once they get the final results of the trial, they can go for the emergency authorizations. Now, Covaxin is being tested on children who are younger, and the official have said that the vaccine is likely to be ready by September. So by end of this September and October, we can see at least two more, or like total in 2 vaccine would be there for the children. And we already have seen that schools are open, right? तो गवर्नमेंट ने इसके लिए पूरी कॉशंस ली है कि खास करके जितने स्टाफ्स हैं उनको प्रॉपरली वैक्सीनेट किया जाए, और जो बच्चे हैं उनके लिए भी वैक्सीनेशन स्टार्ट की जाए. पॉसिबली दैट वुड बी एग्जीक्यूटेड वाया स्कूल ओनली. जो बच्चे स्कूल्स में हैं उनको वहाँ पे भी एडमिनिस्टर की फैसिलिटीज़ प्रोवाइड की जाएगी, या पेरेंट्स चाहें तो किसी और सेंटर्स पे भी जाके एडमिनिस्टर करवा पाएंगे. नाउ व्हाट इज कॉर्बीवैक्स? इस वैक्सीन की बात करें, दिस इज यूजिंग अ वैक्सीन टेक्नोलॉजी ऑफ प्रोटीन एंटीजन. जो स्पाइक प्रोटीन होती है, ये बेसिकली प्रोटीन एंटीजन को यूज़ करती है इन केस ऑफ स्पाइक प्रोटीन विच बाइंड्स इन द एंजियोस्टेन कन्वर्टिंग एंजाइम, जिसको ACE2 रिसेप्टर्स भी कहते हैं, उसके साथ वो मर्ज करती है, एंड हॉस्टल ऑफ द मेम्ब्रेन फैसिलिटेट द वायरस एंट्री, राइट? सो देयर आर 2 डिफरेंट टेक्नोलॉजी दैट इज बीइंग यूज्ड. एक तो प्रोटीन एंटीजन है इन दिस केस जहाँ पे स्पाइक प्रोटीन को यूज़ किया जाता है, और वो जो ACE2 के साथ बाइंड करती है. Now the body own cell makes the copies of protein. It is like a photocopy machine. The multiple copy of the antibody is being made. Now this is in a multiplication form. और उसी हिसाब से बॉडी की इम्यून सिस्टम को रिस्पॉन्स मिलती है that how they need to act, right? If any foreign particle that is coming to our body, the immune system get activated, and accordingly the body responds to it. Now the second news, that is edible oil prices likely to eased by December. Government is of the notion that definitely the price of all the edible oil is on hike. So government has taken some decision. This is something which is important for your general studies paper 2, government policies and intervention for the development of various sectors. सो मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ कंज्यूमर अफेयर डेडिकेटेड मिनिस्ट्री है जो कि कंज्यूमर रिलेटेड मैटर से डील करती है. दे हैव रिसेंटली सेड दैट द soaring edible oil prices in the country are likely to be softened by December. So we have seen the price highs from May itself. May से प्राइस हाई कहीं ज़्यादा है और गवर्नमेंट ने कहा है कि बाय द दिसंबर एंड वी कैन एक्सपेक्ट दैट द प्राइस वुड बी डिक्रीज, राइट. सो इंटरनेशनल कमोडिटी फ्यूचर्स जो है दैट इज डिक्लाइनिंग, उसके ट्रेंड्स डिक्लाइन हो रहे हैं और उसकी जो इफेक्ट्स है वो हमारे डोमेस्टिक मार्केट में देख सकते हैं. However, the government would be constrained from further import and cuts of the oil prices because we know that during COVID-19 many supply chain value chain were affected. Hike in the edible oil prices, definitely, as I've told you, that the average retail price of major edible oil were risen up to 48%. Almost 48 to 50% की rise देखी गई है प्राइस में. Even the mustard oil which was costing like 120 rupees, that has rose up to none less than 180 rupees, right? So this is a price that we have seen. Price domestic value chain में चाहे वो सोयाबीन की oil हो, which is the largest oil seed that is being used in the country. So we have seen across every variant of edible oil the price has increased. So this is a graph to help you understand कि कहाँ पे कितनी price increase हुई है. This chart show the percentage change of all India retail price of the edible oil on September 3rd compared to the day in 2020, right? अगर पिछले इसी टाइम के आप 2020 में कंपेयर करोगे तो you can find the changes, right? So for soybean oil it's 170, sunflower oil it's 170, soybean 154. So accordingly these are the number, these are the amount which you can see. This is not important for your examination, right? Just to be precise, but आपको ये पता होना चाहिए कि किसकी oil की prices कैसी चल रही हैं. Now future oil price anticipations, government ने कहा है कि we expect that the price would be coming down. So government said कि जो arrival of domestic soybean crops है और रबी के जो mustards हैं that would help to soften the prices और ये expect की जा रही है कि price should remain under control. तो बहुत हद तक जो 2020 की प्राइजेस थे पूरे उस प्राइजेस पे तो लाना मुश्किल होगा, बट दे वुड बी कंपनसेटिंग विद समवेयर क्लोज टू दिस प्राइस ओनली एंड दे वुड बी डिक्लाइन बट नॉट वेरी ड्रामेटिक डिक्लाइन बिकॉज ऑफ द ग्लोबल कमोडिटी प्रेशर दैट स्टिल एग्जिस्ट. तो गवर्नमेंट ने क्लियरली कहा है डिक्लाइन होगी बट यू कैन नॉट एक्सपेक्ट दैट प्राइस टू कमिंग टू द प्री कोविड लेवल्स, राइट. Now, reason for price surge, कुछ specific region जिसकी वजह से price surge हुई है. So the Ministry of Consumer Affairs has officially said that one of the reason is global price that have surged due to excessive buying of edible oil by the China. So China is buying heavily on the edible oil. They're basically buying from other countries as well. Another reason is for the major oil are aggressively pursuing of biofuel policies, right? So this is also diverting edible oil for that purposes. No, अभी जिस तरह से palm oil को भी खास करके biofuels के तरफ लाने की बात की गई थी. So that is a point, the reason because of which the price could have surged. And that also include the palm oil in Malaysia, Indonesia, as well as soybean in the US. These are the two types of oil. Up to 50% of Indian domestic market में जो consumption है वो यही दो oil से की जाती है. That is palm oil, mostly used. If you have seen all the vendors, they're frying any other stuff, they're using palm oil, right? That is called Palmolina oil. You must have seen the packets. And the frequently used is soybean oil. This is pretty cheap. This is on a moderate side, right? So a liter of palm oil costs you around 90 to 95 rupees a liter, and soybean somewhere after increasing the price, it costs around 130 to 150 rupees, right? So currently the import of about 60% of edible oil needs leaving the country vulnerable to the international pressures. But government taxes की बात करें, government has said that some duties would be reduced to ensure कि जो retail markets है वहाँ पे price में stability लाई जा सके. Footprints of the dinosaurs found in the Thar desert. This is something very interesting about the dinosaurs and relevant for your general studies paper 3, conservation, environmental pollution, degradation and EIA. Something which is also important for your prelims examination. When this type of environmental and extinct animal news are there, this become very relevant for your prelims paper. So in a major discovery, जहाँ पे ये पाया गया है कि 3 ऐसे species थे डायनासोर के, उनके footprints पाए गए हैं थार डेजर्ट in the Rajasthan Jaisalmer district. Right. So the footprint have proved the presence of giant reptiles. Dinosaur is basically a family of reptiles, right? And western part of the state में इसकी dominance पाई गई है. That was formed by the seashore of the Atlas Sea and Mesozoic era. तो इसकी relevance आप Mesozoic era से भी connect करके देख सकते हो. So these are the two images that was released by the Hindu. So this is the first image and this is the second image. So you can see the gigantic leg, the impression which was found. Now the footprints made the sediment or the silt of the seashore later become permanent like a stone. So the जितने भी खास करके जो पैलियोलॉजिस्ट की जो टीम थी उन्होंने नोट किया कि 200 मिलियन ईयर ओल्ड ये हो सकती है. Right? You can see the time that the scientists have find out. और इसमें जो 3 important categories हैं, I'll name them. You just check it out. आपको सिर्फ इसके थोड़े बहुत नाम याद रखने. That is not more relevant for you. So first is Eurobontis giganteus. उसके बाद है Eurobontis glenerosus and other is Glatter tenusis. So this is the 3 important name of the variety that was found. अगर आपको नाम याद भी ना हो कोई दिक्कत नहीं है. You have to just ensure कि इसकी family क्या है. The family belong to reptile and Mesozoic era से connect करके ये चीज़ आपको पता होनी चाहिए. Now food habit of the dinosaurs. If the scientists have said that these dinosaurs were carnivorous in nature. So this is also a possible question in the prelims. Which type of food habit they uses. So dinosaurs specific are considered to be the theropod type and their distributive feature is hollow bones, feet and 3 digits. So how does it feed? You can see the picture. This is a 3-digit feet. And all these species belong to the early Jurassic period. Most of you must have watched Jurassic movie, the Hollywood movie, the famous movie. So you can figure it out how does it actually look like. Now FSDC meeting on IBC, stressed, assessed and financial inclusion. This is something which is important for your general studies paper 3. Recently there was a meeting which was held by the FSDC, that is Financial Stability Development Council, and they discussed some important measures to related the stress sectors, right? किस तरह से stress sector को manage करनी है उसको लेकर के meeting हुई है. And the council said that there is a need to keep the contagious visual on the government and regulator of the financial conditions. क्या इंडिया में conditions है? Because the rebound of economy is having, we can see some positive sentiments in the economy, but still they need to have a regulatory measures to ensure that the economy is rebounding at its proper pace. एजेंडा की बात करें, जो मीटिंग हेल्ड हुई थी उसमें कुछ एजेंडा सेट की गई है. सो दिस वाज अ 24 मीटिंग दैट वाज हेडेड बाय दैट वाज चेयर्ड बाय द फाइनेंस मिनिस्टर, राइट, निर्मला सीतारमन. एंड एफएसडीसी की अगर डिस्कशंस की बात करें, जो मीटिंग एजेंडा थी दैट इज वाज मैनेजमेंट ऑफ द स्ट्रेस्ड एसेट पहली. दूसरी, स्ट्रेसनिंग द इंस्टीट्यूशन मैकेनिज्म फॉर फाइनेंशियल स्टेबिलिटी, किस तरह से स्ट्रेंथनिंग ला जा सकती है फाइनेंशियल स्टेबिलिटी एनालिसिस में. Third was financial inclusion. This is something which is inevitable and that would continue for a longer duration. Framework for the resolution of financial institutions, जो भी NPA के issues हैं या और भी कोई related issues हैं उसको लेकर के बात की गई है. Issues related to insolvency and bankruptcy processes. And the last is the previous meeting की अगर बात करें, this was held in December 2020. Now, why a caste census is needed? This is something which is important for your general studies paper 2, welfare schemes for the vulnerable section of the population by the scientists. So this editorial has been reported in Indian Express. So what are the issues that you would require to know under this editorial? So I've segregated into 5 subheads. First is Constitutional 1.2 Amendment Act in 2018, effects of public sector erosions, faulty lines, reluctance to OBC caste census, advantages of update data, and conclusion, right? So if you talk about the theme of this editorial, the theme of the editorial is the need for caste census. We definitely need to identify who actually are the beneficiaries and how to identify them. So let's understand this editorial. अभी रिसेंट में मॉनसून सेशन जो कंक्लूड हुई है उसमें 127th कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल अमेंडमेंट बिल को पास किया गया था, which override the Supreme Court interpretation on 102 Constitutional Amendment Act. I will tell you both of the things in detail. What is 127 Constitutional Amendment और what is 102. तो 127 की अगर बात करें, this restore the state power to specify the OBC group. इसको 102 में हटा दिया गया था और पावर दी गई थी नेशनल कमीशन फॉर बैकवर्ड क्लासेस को. अब इस बार में 127 के जो कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल अमेंडमेंट एक्ट आई है उसमें वापस से स्टेट्स को पावर दिया गया है. So this can be a very important question in your mains paper. Make sure you have all the detailed content related to that. So this judgment, basically the court in the judgment said that Maratha case has concluded that the 102 constitutional amendment curtailed the state government power to identify the backward classes. Right? Now union government ने ये कहा कि जो course of correction है that was allowed. Ruling present जो party है BJP is congratulate itself to record the BJP right, but जो two challenges है बहुत सारे अभी भी challenges that is rendering with this regard. Even you have seen the state of Bihar and Uttar Pradesh are agree to go for the OBC basically census. UP is not still agree, but Bihar is agree to go for the census. Even the state of Jharkhand is ready. Now, what is Constitutional 102 Amendment Act? This is 2018. Just to tell you the background, because if you're writing in mains, you have to understand the background, right? The 102 Amendment में President Eshel से इसको pass किया गया था, and the amendment asserted two important article, that is 388B and 342A, right? Now, this is no more important, although इसको avoid करके 127 लाई गई है वापस. So article 338B क्या कहती है? Deal with the structure, duties, power of the National Commission for Backward Classes. NCBC की जो powers हैं, जो duties हैं, वो इसमें define है. 342 deals with the power of president to identify and notify the socially and economic backward classes. So this power belong to the president and not governor. So this is something which you have to note. And the amendment also brings the changes in Article 366, right? So the amendment give NCBC a power of constitutional status, and the commission was actually originally set up in 1993. तो ये कुछ important points हैं जो कि आपके लिए काफी relevant होंगे. Effects of public sector erosions, जिस तरह से public sectors में jobs cut की गई है. So the erosion of public sector has resulted in steady decrease in the job. No, specifically एक specific group हैं जो reserve category से belong करते हैं. The Dalit people are facing this problem. So the number of, अगर आप example के तौर पे एडिटोरियल में बात की गई है सिविल सर्विसेज के एग्जाम्स में जो यूपीएससी के एग्जाम शॉर्टलिस्ट करते हैं कैंडिडेट को, उसमें ऑलमोस्ट 40% तक डिक्रीज दिखी गई है. Previously it was 126, now that has decreased to 756. So the decrease here is 40%. And this evolution has primarily due to the old trend, rise in the vacancies. जो private sectors में खास करके lateral entry हो रही है गवर्नमेंट के बहुत सारे डिपार्टमेंट में अंडर सेक्रेटरी लेवल्स पे, तो प्रमोशंस पे भी उसकी इफेक्ट है. So the concern is regarding the public sector where the job is too less. Now some faulty lines, बात की जाए, the introduction of 10% of the quota in 2019 for the economic and weaker sections has altered the standard definition of backwardness, right? जहाँ पे upper caste को लेकर के बात की गई, उनके लिए जो baseline amount set की गई है इनकम की, that is 8 lakh रुपये, right? So it says the expert of the opinion कि अगर आपने 8 लाख रुपीस तक क्रीमी लेयर या फिर सोशल इकोनॉमिक बैकवर्ड सेक्शंस के लिए रखा हुआ है, तो ये जस्टिफाई नहीं करती है. जो भी पुअर क्लास के कैटेगरीज हैं 99% लोग उसके बेनिफिट नहीं ले पाएंगे, क्योंकि 8 लाख इज समथिंग विच इज अ लार्जर वन साइड, राइट? अभी भी आप टैक्स बेस देखोगे 2.5 के ऊपर गवर्नमेंट टैक्स लगाती है, इवन 5 लाख के ऊपर टैक्सेस है कुछ केसेस में. सो दिस इज समथिंग दे से दैट इकोनॉमिक वीकर सेक्शन के लिए अमाउंट और कम होनी चाहिए. Now reluctance to OBC caste census, सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट ने अभी तक अपनी रिलक्टेंसी बनाई हुई है, तो they are not willing to go for the survey, and it is being said in this editorial कि this require a effort, एक overwhelming support की जरूरत है, जहाँ पे OBC members को support चाहिए from the opposition party as well, and this data would be definitely required to formulate a good policy, right? अगर आपके पास डेटा नहीं हो कि किस कैटेगरी के लोग को हेल्प करने की जरूरत है गवर्नमेंट की, देन हाउ गवर्नमेंट वुड कम अप विद द डिसीजन, एंड व्हाई गवर्नमेंट इज रिलक्टेंट, दैट इज अनदर लेवल ऑफ डिबेट. वी आर नॉट गेटिंग इनटू द डिटेल ऑफ दैट. कुछ वो पॉलिटिकल एंगल भी है जहाँ मैं आपको उसमें we'll discuss on the later on. Now, this reluctant exculpate the post-colonial contradictions, जहाँ पे एक blind socio-economic demographic analysis की जाती थी, that was basically assumption that was made. Actually, ground reality उस टाइम पे consider नहीं होती थी. Whatever the Britishers find, they do that. So उस तरह के colonial era की वापस से परछाई देखने को मिल रही है और एक काफी discriminatory regime है. So the first backward commission, and as was the second backward commission, made recommendations in context of access to credible and up-to-date caste census that was not ensured. अभी भी हमारे पास updated caste census report नहीं है, and report and data is very important to formulate a rules and regulation. So जब आपके पास data नहीं होंगी तो फिर आप beneficiary कैसे को identify करोगे, right? So this is what the editor has to say under this OBC caste census. Now, what is the advantage of updated data? किस तरह से advantages हो सकती हैं? So this data can provide up-to-date evidence of the analysis. क्या क्या accomplishment करने की जरूरत है? Reservation policy किस तरह से shape हो सकती है? तो सारी चीजों की एक road map मिल सकती है, right? So this provide a road map that how things can work. And it would also have a magnitude of gap between the economic and social capital acquisitions, right? The reserve categories हैं वहाँ पे क्या revamp करने की ज़रूरत है? What should be the income scale that should be there? So these things need to be revamped. And the census can be instrumental in revisiting the bench of social, economical and educational backwardness. So ये तीन backwardness consider करने की ज़रूरत है. First is social, second is economical and third is educational. So we have to work on all these three fronts. और कास्ट सेंसस की अगर बात करें ये प्रोवाइड मच नीडी रिगर एंड फाइंडिंग रिकमेंडेशन जहां पे स्टेट्स और यूनियन दोनों को रिपोर्ट सबमिट करने की जरूरत है एंड अकॉर्डिंगली दे कैन फॉर्मुलेट द रूल्स एंड लॉ. Now moving to the MCQ questions of the day. Before I proceed, just to tell you the answers of yesterday questions. For both the question, the correct option here is C. So check it out what you have marked, whether you have marked the correct answer or not. Today's MCQ, Pradhan Mantri Matru Vandana Yojana is the government maternity benefit under which among the following ministry? Ministry of Women and Child Development, Ministry of Social Justice, Ministry of Ayush, Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. If you know the correct answer, do let me know in the comment section down below. Second question, the Chauri Chaura incident took place in which among the following city? That is Lucknow, Gorakhpur, Ranchi and Hyderabad. So what you have to do, you have to choose the correct option and write that in the comment section down below. If you have any other concern, do let me know. I'll be more than happy to assist you. For time being, I'm signing off. Wish you all the best. Thank you so much for listening.